Here is a topic which has come up multiple times from people in private sessions, on the comments in the videos, and I think it's something that we should definitely talk about, because it is also something that I find people struggle with in life. Before I talk about this, I want to talk about love in general. You know, I talk a lot about love and fear, and I think of it kind of like a sliding scale. You know, you might be dead neutral, or you might be slightly fearful or slightly loving, or all the way loving or all the way fearful. But I don't believe that there is that it's not a polarity. I don't think it's a black and white issue. I don't think it's all love and all fear, period, and there's nothing in between. I think it's a sliding scale. That said, here's the question. If someone forgives a parent for terrible abuse or abandonment, but does not find love for that parent, is that person wrong? A lot of people struggle with this. They had terrible parents that treated them poorly, right? You will never, ever come to that unconditional love for that parent, because they never gave you the unconditional love to experience it. But forgiveness is loving. If you forgive them, you have done the loving thing, and it's all you need to do. You do not have to negate or begin to like what they did to you. All you really have to do is detach yourself from it. And the way you have to detach yourself from it is you have to forgive them, and you have to forgive you. You have to forgive them for the terrible thing they did. And basically say, okay, you did that. I'm no longer carrying this. I'm no longer taking this down the road with me. I'm no longer even thinking about it. I'm letting it go, right? You have to forgive yourself for carrying it for so long. You have to forgive yourself and break out of the subconscious belief that those parents gave you, because those parents gave you subconscious beliefs based upon the things they did to you. And you've got to forgive yourself and say, no, I am not that way. I am this way. I'm creating something new and joyful. So the question that she says here, if someone forgives a parent for terrible abuse or abandonment, but does not find love for that parent, is that wrong? Well, if someone forgives a parent, they are giving love. They're releasing them. They're releasing them, and they're releasing you. That is the loving thing to do. You don't have to suddenly go, Dad was like word cleaver and leave it to Cleaver, and leave it to Beaver. He was the greatest dad ever. Father knew best. He doesn't have to become that to you. He doesn't have to become this, I have such fond memories of Dad or Mom, depending on who it was. You don't have to have that. But forgiveness itself, recognize yourself. Forgiveness itself is loving. And for my father, he was an emotional abuser, mainly. Sometimes physical, but mostly emotional. And I had to come to a realization that he was probably doing the best he could with what he knew, because his father was an alcoholic, emotional abuser, and probably a physical one as well. And so he was doing the best he could with what he knew. He didn't know any better because he was stuck in a cycle. But I can forgive him for that. I don't have to like him, and I don't have to love him for somebody who he wasn't. But I can love him enough to say, okay, I forgive you because you did the best you could with what you knew. The last part of this question, is that person wrong? Is that person wrong is literally asking, is this person lovable? Or is this person bad? And this is a question from someone who's looking for approval, who's looking for not being wrong. They're looking for an out. And the question is, everything else that was in the beginning of this, forgiving the parent, but still not loving them as that parent, there's nothing wrong in that statement. There's no wrong, and there's you will judge yourself, right? That's the way it's going to work. You're going to get to the other. Now, when you look at people who've had near-death experiences, they talk about going out on the other side and having the life review and experiencing the emotions on both sides. So your parents, when they cross over, they're going to experience your emotions and how you were treated as if they were you. So, they're going to get a good dose of what happened to you anyway. But is that person wrong for being in this fear-based separate place that we are in and not loving someone who treated them poorly? Well, if you forgave them, you did love them. And that's all the love you needed to give them. Let it go. Let it go, move on. Because that's loving you and loving you too. And you can't help anybody else on the airplane if you don't put your oxygen mask on first. So there you go. You guys have a great day, and I'll talk to you soon. See ya. Bye.